It's getting, I mean, it's prevalent. I think for a lot of years we were able to deal with it in our own ways, not real constructive sometimes. What do they say? The divorce rate for firefighters and policemen is almost double what the average marriages go up against out there. But it's taken its toll in ways that I think people don't realize. And I think as we're becoming, especially now, we handled it our own way. Suck it up, kid, and you just sort of bond with the people you worked with. You'd go out and you'd hang out and you'd talk about it with the people you work with or other firefighters on the job. You'd push it aside and you'd play your sports, or you'd work your leave day job and do whatever you're doing. But it was always in there, and you were always holding it in. And now with this MFR runs, it's a whole different animal, because before we were just dealing momentarily with people that we would drag out of burning buildings, and we do our CPR on them, plop them in a squad or in an ambulance, and off they go, and we'd be done with it. A lot of times we wouldn't even know if they survived or not. We would try to check, but a lot of times you wouldn't even know if they died or not. But now with this MFR, they're doing hands-on. They're going into people's homes, and it's a different setting. It's not a dark, smoky place, and you're just dragging an object out, basically. I mean, but that's how you compartmentalize it. That's how I did. You have to disassociate with the reality of it being a human being. You're rushing there to get there as fast as you could because you know it's a human being, but once you get your hands on them, it to me, it stopped being a human being and it became an object. That's how I managed it. And I think a lot of other people did to some aspect the same way. But now you're going into people's homes and you're dealing with a lot of more day-to-day scenarios, just like you would be at home. And it's becoming harder to compartmentalize that, harder to disassociate yourself from that. And so it's having a deeper effect that you just can't bottle up anymore. And before the MFRs, how often would you be pulling people out of burning buildings? Since so many vacants we had, the numbers really went down compared to what it would be in the 80s and 90s, before the city really started to take a tumble. You had more occupied dwellings back then. You had your hands on people more. Then there was a 20-year lull, and now here we are having our hands on double, triple, quadruple the amount of people that we're having to deal with. And where you could push it down, keep it in its place, have control over it, I think a lot of people now, they can't. And they're seeing older people, younger people, stuff that people they can relate to more in their own lives. And I think it's taken its toll. And I see it from seasoned guys who said, I didn't sign on for this. This wasn't part of what the job specs were when I took this job. And now it's changed, and they're having to adapt to it. And some are having some trouble. Some of your most hardened guys. I mean, how many times have you seen soldiers or policemen or firemen, who can hold it in all the time, and something just triggers them, some little thing, and they just break down sobbing. And I've been I've had that happen to me quite a few times. But you break down in tears, and you just can't. It's just the emotion, everything just comes out, and you can't hold it in. And I think you're going to see more need in the Detroit Fire Department for care and concern and education and treatment for the guys. so they can have a mechanism where they can control what they have to see and what they have to deal with.